bazillion videos that are out there about how to do a resume for the particular job that you want or the particular job that you're looking for. But there are not a lot of videos that explain resumes for the professional film, television, entertainment world, because that particular resume looks a little bit differently than a quote-unquote corporate business resume. So this is my real resume, okay, all right? It is multiple pages because I have done a whole lot of work. But it doesn't have to be multiple pages on it, but one thing that you want to do, and just like any other resume, is do not lie, okay? But specifically on these kind of resumes, if you work in television and film or trying to work in television and film, do not lie on this resume, because somebody is going to know somebody, and somebody else is going to call somebody, or somebody else may have worked on that job that you said you worked on, and they'll be like, that person wasn't the makeup person, that person wasn't the hair person, I can't believe they said they were in that position. So do not lie on your resume. Don't fabricate what you did as well. If you were just an additional makeup artist, and I'm not saying just an additional as something disrespectful, you were an additional makeup artist, you worked on that job. Put that on it. If you were an intern on that film, that is actually a job. That shows that you have set history. So therefore, put that on your resume. If you were an assistant to a person and you were on that job, put that on your resume. So don't make the position something that you weren't. Be honest about what you did on it, and don't create a position that didn't exist as well because you think that it sounds better. And a lot of corporate or a lot of other professional industries, that's what they'll tell you to do. Make it sound like you were, you know, the executive administrative assistant to the director, and you were just an executive assistant and you worked with the director and other people, but that sounded a better example of it. Don't do that on this resume, because we just want to know what you're doing and when you did it. So, as you see, on some resumes it'll say, my objective is to work in an industry that is fulfilling and I can get back to that. For a makeup resume, beautiful, I don't care. Please don't put that on a resume. I don't care. I'm going to look at it and move it away. Other people are going to look at it and move it away. Because what it's going to say is, I want to work in makeup. I know that. That's why it's your resume. So do not put that on this particular resume. You want to put your name. Make it simple. Make your name really, really big. What you do. Hair, makeup, DP, sound, whatever it is, super simple, what it is you do. A phone number. Now, phone numbers don't have to necessarily be in that particular state. Now with everybody having cell phone numbers, you can work in California and have a New York phone number. You can work in New York and have a Texas phone number, but make sure you have a phone number on it that's a working phone number that makes sense. You don't have to put your address on there. You don't have to put any of that other personal information on there. It's totally okay if you do, but I would suggest that maybe you don't, because in the film industry, people work all over the place, and sometimes if you put your address on there, they don't think that you can get there. So if you put it on there, then they'll be like, oh, that person only lives in New York, this job is in Maryland, I can't call them. But let's say that you can get to Maryland and you can work in Maryland, or you're in between those places as well. So if you want to put your address on there, you can. I would suggest a phone number and not an address. An email address, that is an email address that you check on a regular and a consistent basis. It could be a business email address. It could be an email address that has your name in it. It could have something that's super simple. Try not to have your email address be something like hot sexy lips 1234 hyphen at star dot double bubble dot gmail. Like, nobody's gonna remember that, okay? Nobody's gonna do that. And if you have an email address that sometimes people can mess up, make sure that when you give out that email address, you spell it out to the person. So one, if they don't spell it wrong, because Stephanie is spelled a lot of different ways. Logan is spelled one way normally, but let's say that you spell Logan a little bit differently, make sure that you spell that out. Or for example, my email address is Fabulous Shannon, and sometimes people will not put two S's back to back, so I always have to say, make sure the S's are back to back, like girlfriend and boyfriend, because they love each other. If not, it won't get to me. All right, I say it that way on purpose so that people remember to put those two letters back to back, because some email addresses, because there's two S's, they may not put another S there. So you want to make sure that you explain it when you're explaining it to people. So you have your email address on there. If you have a website, put that on your resume. I would suggest just a website. I wouldn't suggest your Instagram or your Facebook stuff as well. If you have a Facebook page that is a professional Facebook page that is kind of like your resume, portfolio type of thing, then that's the only time I really would suggest your Facebook thing. Instagram, I wouldn't suggest it as much. Again, it's up to you if you want to put your social media stuff on there. If you put your social media stuff on there, make sure that that social media stuff is only tailored to your work. Don't have personal stuff on there, pictures with your mom, your significant other, your kids, food, you at the birthday party, because people don't really want to see that when they're trying to get work from you. But if your Instagram or your Facebook is all of your work and it's a combination of your work and you don't have a website, then therefore I would say put it on there, but make sure that it's tailored to that. You can have 2 different social media accounts. I think they're free. Majority of the time they're free. So you can have 15 or 16 of them, but put the one on there that's going to make you look better. And any other stuff on there that you want to add. So for example, I wrote a book. Makeup is just colored dirt, so I put that on my resume because I think it's super important. And I'm also a part of the Makeup Artists Unions, so that's on here as well. So I put those unions things up there as well because that's what I'm a part of. But if not, your name, what you did, your phone number, email address, and a website or some place for them to come and see your digital work. Underneath that, if you have education somewhere that is makeup related or just in general, you want to put that underneath there. So it has my college education, and because my college education, besides the fact that I also have a college degree in theater, I have a degree in makeup as well. So that I put that on my resume. I also have a master's degree in special effects, and then all these other classes that I've taken, which is additional education that I have taken in makeup. All right, so whatever that is related to what it is you do, put that on your resume to say, hey, I've expanded what it is I do. I have excelled into my own industry. So you want to have your education part, and then if you run in, I've won some awards and some stuff like that, so I put that on my resume. But if you haven't done that, then skip that section. Okay, put your education that's makeup related, and then you're going to go directly into your work history. Okay, so the way that my resume is broken down is from each section of work that I've done. So you'll see it says film work, right? And then it will say television and commercial work. And then I've also done, I've done a lot of television and commercial work. Music video, print, tour, theater, and then special events. But if you haven't done all that particular stuff, then just break it down into what you have done. And the reason why you want to break it down into sections is because it makes it super simple for me to know what it is you did and what you did it for. Because a person that's looking for a makeup artist that has television and film history, and you could just give me a resume that has all print work, well, I know that you can take pretty pictures with pretty makeup, but I don't know if those pretty pictures and pretty makeup transfers well onto camera. All right, and if you've done all theater work, I know you have no idea what being on a film set is like. So if I still choose to hire you, or somebody chooses to hire you, they know that they're going to have to just move some other stuff around, because theater is completely different than film. Vice versa, you're a theater person and you're looking for somebody and all they have is film work and they've never done theater work, so therefore they have to show you how to do theater, how to do makeup for theater as well. So once you pick the sections that you're in and those things as well, and again, do not feel discouraged if you've only interned on 2 films, interned on 2 theater projects, and did 1 music video. You're working, boo. You're working. Do not feel bad about it. I did not get a 7-page resume overnight, okay? Also, you want to have stuff on it that's relevant. So if it's not relevant and you haven't done it in over 3 years, then take it off of your resume. However, if it's something you haven't done over 3 years, but it's something that you do and you think that it's important, then keep it on your resume. But if it's in 2016, don't have something on there from 1991. I love that you did Mariah Carey's makeup in 1991. We're happy about it. But I'm sure you've done some other cool things as well since then. So you do want to go through and change your makeup. Unlike corporate and other professions where you want to have something on there from 1999 or 1991. Let's say you did work with that particular celebrity that I talked about in 1991, and you were the executive assistant, and you continue to be an executive assistant. That's super important. But for film and for television resumes, that was a whole long time ago, and it's not relevant to what we're doing now. So I would say have that conversation in real life, take it off of your resume. So the next thing that you want to do after you have put in the sections of what you're doing, you want to make it super simple. Or KISS, you ever heard that before? Keep it simple, stupid. All right? You want to have, and I make it even the name of the project that you did. So this says Planet Fitness National Commercial. All right? And what did I do? I was the makeup artist for it. All right? This says I was McDonald's National Commercial. I was the makeup artist for it. So it's super simple what it is that I did as well. For television and film, I get a little bit more little bit more detail oriented. So it has the name of the film, it says the Billboard movie. I was the department head makeup artist. This is the director of the film. Some people say don't put the director on it. I like to put the director on it because sometimes the directors are just as important as the actors that are in it as well. So I like to put the director on it, but that's an optional thing. Where did I shoot the film at? I also put the year that I did it. So it's 2016, 2016, 2016, and the latest, I go all the way up to 2010. So if it's past 2010, I've taken it off of my resume. So that's about 6 years as well. I've done so much other work that it doesn't really matter. I should probably take it 5 years. Somebody else would say I should go up to 5 years. So I probably should even revise my own resume. I'm giving myself my own notes. All right. So then underneath that, I'll see who are the people that were in the film that I actually touched the makeup on. So Eric Roberts, Heather, and John Robinson worked in that particular film. I'll put their names on it as well. If I didn't work on somebody specifically, let's say I worked on a whole lot of people, then I won't put those names on it. I'll just say the project as well. The reason why I'm putting the actors' names on it that I particularly worked on is so that the person that's reading the resume says, oh, those people were in that movie. A lot of times those movies are not out yet, okay? So therefore your resume is before the actual project is out. So therefore you want to say these are the people that you worked on. It helps out somebody else. I really suggest if you haven't worked on that person, so let's say for example there's a high top name celebrity in the film. Let's say Brad Pitt is in the film and you didn't do Brad Pitt's makeup. You were in the makeup trailer with him, but you didn't do his makeup. Don't put his name on your resume like you did the makeup. Only put the people's names on there that you've actually touched, even if it's a name that you may not think is important. Because just like I mentioned Brad Pitt had a first movie somewhere before he was Brad Pitt, and then he became Brad Pitt. Channing Tatum had a commercial somewhere before he was a first name of Channing Tatum. Mariah Carey was Mariah or Mimi before she became that person. So even though they may not be somebody that you think of on a regular household name today, doesn't necessarily mean that they may not be a household name later on. So I would suggest you putting their name on it. So that's how simple it should be. Your name, your phone number, your email address, your social media or your website that is related to what it is you do, your education that's related to what you want to do, anything else that's super cool. If you won an award or wrote a book, have a YouTube channel that's like has 1 million followers and everybody pays attention to that. Teach fancy classes somewhere and everybody comes to that. Put that on your resume. That's super important. And then break it down to the section. Work history, put it into sections. Film, television, theater, commercial. This is the name of the project. This is what I was. I was a makeup artist. This is where it was at. This was the year. This was the director. These were the people that were a part of it, and keep it moving. Because the people are not taking a lot of time to look at your resume to figure out where should I look at, who do you want to be in this particular thing. It's really, really simple and really, really easy so that you can get the phone call and get the job. Because what I'm going to do is going to be like, oh, clearly this person has worked. Oh, they worked on that? Super cool. What's her phone number? Oh, that's what it is? What's her email address? Oh, let me go to her stuff. Great. Shannon, are you available Tuesday to be able to go and work on that? That's how simple it is. But if it doesn't make sense to me, and then I had a whole conversation with you where you're like, yeah, I work on stuff all the time. I had an intern that sent me a resume and she was like, she worked on a lot of reality stuff, right? We had a whole conversation on the phone about it. I said, send me your resume so I could just see what's happening. Nothing on her resume says she did makeup at all. And I called her back and said, if I wouldn't have had a conversation with you that even know that you've done a lot of reality stuff, and reality sets are a lot differently than television and film sets, same concept but a little different, I said, I wouldn't even known that. And I'm going to hire you because I've had this conversation. However, going forward, please change your resume because maybe you're not getting the work that you think you should get because your resume set looks like you haven't done any work. So pay attention to it. If you know somebody else in this industry, doesn't hurt to say, hey, can you help me with mine, or can you send me yours so I can see what it looks like. I do it all the time, you know, so that everybody has a template of what it looks like. So your resume is super important. It's your calling card to how you even get in the door in the first place. I hope it's helpful, and I know that you'll get a job from it eventually, and then you'll get multiple jobs from it all the time.